Okay, in this video we're going to take a look at the SAQ for AP World History, and to start off with the short answer question, just the logistics. So students will finish the multiple choice section, you'll turn that in, it'll be a very short period of time break before you get Part B. Part B will be 4 questions. You will have 50 minutes to complete these, so you're looking at 12 minutes and 30 seconds per question, and they are short answer questions, so you're not really fully developing or supporting a thesis or even coming up with a thesis. You are addressing the prompt and getting out of there. This will account for 20% of the grade on the AP test, so we want to do a nice job with this. So I'll take you through some steps and look at some sample prompts, how they're going to look. So number 1, it's going to directly address one or more of the thematic learning objectives for the course, so you can look those over again. At least 2 of the 4 questions will have elements of internal choice, meaning you'll have some sort of a choice with the questions, but more than likely 2 of them you will have no choice, you just have to answer what they've given you. All will require students to use historical thinking skills to respond to either a primary source, an historian's argument, a non-textual source such as data or a map, or a general proposition about world history. So more on that with some of the examples. On the AP exam, you're going to write in a text box. You may not write outside the text box. Please complete those, and we're going to practice those with writing them right inside the box. These are truly short answers. As I said, for each part of the test, you're going to write 2 to 4 sentences. If you write more, that's okay, but you won't really need to if you properly answer the prompt. Read all 3 parts of the question before you start to answer, because individual parts are often similar. They either complement or contradict each other. There will always be 3 parts. That's why it's graded out of 3 points. So if you get 2 out of the 3, you're going to get a 2 out of 3 for that particular SAQ. Also use specifics when answering. Don't be vague with your responses. You can be specific, but just answer the prompt, get right to it. So real quickly, we're going to take a peek at some example prompts, what things might look like, so you're not surprised. So you're going to answer parts A, B, and C. It's always going to ask you to do that. I think initially AP came out with them and they said, answer parts A and B, and sometimes like A or B would be like 2 parts, but I think I've heard that they're going to divide those out and it's always going to be A, B, and C. So as you write these, you can label them A and then answer that, B, answer that, and C, and answer that. I prefer that as a grader. I'm going to be preferring that you break them down that way. On the AP exam you don't have to, but let's just get in the habit of breaking it down that way. So this first one, answer parts A, B, and C. Briefly explain one important similarity between blank and blank. And then briefly explain one important difference between blank and blank. And then C, briefly analyze one factor that accounts for the differences you identified in Part B. So why are they different? So that is a comparison, short answer question. You get right after it and just answer those directly. It might ask you something like this: using your knowledge of world history, answer parts A, B, and C. So arguing about potential turning points. Briefly explain one reason why this is a turning point in world history. Briefly explain another reason. So it might ask you for 2 reasons there, and then one reason why you might argue the opposite. So why is this not considered a turning point in world history? So that'd be a periodization type question. If we take a look at a causation question, you might look at, I said if there was a map of the Eastern Hemisphere, and it would ask you, using the map and your knowledge of world history, answer parts A, B, and C. So briefly explain one geographic feature of blank that helped shape blank during that particular period, 600 to 600. Briefly explain another geographical feature. So again, it could do that, asking for 2 geographic features that help shaping of a certain place. And then briefly explain one way geography developed political life in blank. So it might specifically address some or one of the themes there. Again, those questions it could ask for multiple themes. So how did geography shape culture in blank? Could be a reading passage. Using the passage above in your knowledge of world history, answer A, B, and C. Explain one blank policy that is reflected in the letter. Explain one way the letter reflects blank ideology. And then finally explain one opposing viewpoint. Who would disagree with this letter? So that'd be argumentation. Really, all of them have argumentation. This would include contextualization. So these are, 4 quick examples. Obviously, throughout the year, we're going to look at a wide variety of these. So stay tuned, and we'll tackle the SAQ and do well with that. Thanks a lot.